this motherfucker eating beans! So, originally this video was supposed to be about Update 5.5 for Watch Dogs Legion and the content that came with it. However, I decided that would be boring since 1, I'm kind of late on the topic at hand, even though that hasn't necessarily stopped me in the past. 2, it'd be easier for you guys to read over the patch notes at your own discretion just to get a general idea over what's what, and for you to experience it yourself rather than hear me talk about it. And 3, I may or may not have experienced some kind of, I don't know, bullshit along the way. But this is going to be different because instead of me giving a bullshit explanation over the new content, I'm just going to give you a bullshit explanation on my methods to completing the challenges for online. In case you need a refresher, challenges, just like in any other video game, gives you rewards in exchange for doing simple tasks. I say simple, but we already know it's going to be much more complicated than that. In Legion's case, you get both EXP and influence, which is used for getting new recruits, upgrading your equipment, getting on by the seasonal rewards, crippling depression, and so on and so forth. In total, there are about 36 challenges altogether, and they're split up into 2 categories, dailies and weeklies. The former consists of 5 different challenges that appear every day of the week. They give off 70 experience each, with 2 of them giving 3 influence should you complete them. The latter also consists of 5 challenges that not only appear every week, but are the exact same task as well, which is completely fine with me. Less is more. In my case, they reset every Tuesday at around 9 o'clock in the morning, since my time zone is Central Standard. Completing them will net you 250 experience each. The challenges themselves range from simple to tedious to outright f***ery, but that's fine because I plan on teaching the different methods that I personally utilize in order to complete them. The grinding never stops, my friend. A majority of them are practically brain dead to begin with, so you shouldn't have too many problems. Besides this, most challenges usually go hand in hand with each other, meaning that you'll occasionally be hitting 2 birds with a stick. Like, I don't know, say for instance defeating a certain number of enemies while performing stealth takedowns, or something of that nature. Ideally, it'd be best to group certain challenges together into specific sections to make this process simple and easy to follow. Splitting them up, we'll have 3 sections: Neutral, Clan Kelly, and Albion associated objectives. Best part about this guideline is that the challenges themselves can be completed either solo or with friends. Either way, you'll still be able to finish them. Now, let's begin with the majority, that is the neutral challenges. Starting off, this one is fairly simple. All you have to do is go to a certain location on the map and snap a photo of it, or take a selfie if you like. Easy. There are many locations that it'll throw every now and then, like the Charring Cross Station or even Nexus Tower. Many places will be utilized, making you explore the open world. So, if you're confused on how to get there, you can either scan the map or be like me and Google the location. Another tip would be to check the fast travel points, as they will usually have the same name as the place that you need to go to. Be sure that you're in the correct position when taking a photo so that it can actually count. For this objective, all you have to do is drink some beer. You can either recruit an operative who has the ability to do so and chug away, or you can go to the many pubs located throughout London. Just be careful not to drink too much with certain operatives, otherwise they'll pass out, which is actually kind of funny. Being the easiest weekly challenge, all you have to do is find new recruits out on the streets of London and have them join DedSec. A good way to do this while conserving influence is to recruit individuals who require about 1 to 5 influence and save them on the ops page. Afterwards, accept and immediately retire them so that they don't take up any slots. Another easy weekly on the list. All you have to do is perform takedowns on unsuspected enemies in any form or fashion, and can be done with any operative, whether they are regular or prestige to young or old. The takedowns themselves can be ranged from getting them on ground, attacking from above, Spiderbot, or even weapon melee. As long as you're quiet about it, you'll get it done in no time. Speaking of melee, for this challenge in particular, you'll have to fight any type of enemy that you see fit. They can either be opponents in well-guarded areas or random factions you find in the streets. Just start attacking and they'll be down before you know it. Be wary that other opponents will join in on the fray as well, so you'll have to put some effort into it. To make this easier, just equip a weapon, go to a guarded area, and perform a melee takedown. This is without a doubt the fastest way to cheese this one. Best part is that you don't even have to be stealthy. Just start whacking bitches. Go wild. Same as the previous challenge as before, except you actually perform an execution on your enemies when you have a lethal firearm equipped. Both regular and ground executions both apply to this challenge, so if you have the opportunity for either one, take it. To make this easier, use an operative that has the Gunkata perk, which allows for you to perform an execution on the go without the need to stun anyone. That way you can avoid the long cooldown on your hacks. Professional hitmen have this automatically, but you can also find someone who has this on the streets. This challenge is kind of peculiar. For this one, you'll have to drive around London and destroy anything that is considered a truck from today's standards. For those who may have trouble with this one, no need to worry, as I got you, homie. Currently, you should be seeing different pictures which the game considers to be classified as trucks. The most notable one that you'll typically see is the Albion truck that parades around practically everywhere in the city. Once you've found your target of choice, go ahead and equip either the DedSec grenade launcher or any of the lethal grenade launchers to quickly demolish the vehicle of your choice. In this case, I'd rather you use the APGL as opposed to its non-lethal counterpart. Reason why is because it usually takes 2 shots from the DedSec launcher to destroy a truck, whereas with the regular APGL, it one-shots them completely. An easier way to deal with this is to head to Albion Station Bethnal Green, as there are 3 trucks parked there already. Just destroy those and be on your merry way. What makes this even better is that you can fast travel to one spot, wait for a few minutes, then travel back to the same location and new trucks will spawn as well as the enemy station there. Rinse, repeat, and reap the rewards. This is, if anything, the same as the challenge from before, except instead of trucks, we'll use the grenade launchers to obliterate our foes. At first I thought this challenge was more aligned to killing grenadier type enemies since they explode after dying, which might work in some scenarios, but this will be the better alternative. You can use any launcher that's available to you, like the stun launcher or the APGL, since they'll get the job done and have a high damage rate, unlike Wrench's grenade launcher, Captain Boom Boom. Do not get me wrong, it's actually pretty decent when you want to do a right radius hack, but in regards to actually defeating enemies, it's not necessarily the choice that you want to go with. Only problem is that it does minimal damage, so do yourself a favor and use a launcher that can actually get the job done. This one shouldn't be too much of a problem for you. Throughout London, there are small symbols located on the map. These symbols are solo assignments that you can complete at any time if you want the extra EXP or some cryptocurrency. Just simply begin the assignment via the map and complete the objectives it gives you. Sometimes you'll have to download data while defending an immediate area, break a few things, infiltrate areas to take pictures, or escort hostages out of certain areas. These are, without a doubt, the easiest missions within the game thus far, so have fun with it. City events, if anything, are infuriating, especially if you're doing it solo. They will occur every now and then on the map. The only city event that we've had for almost a year now is the Albion Swarmjorn event, and it sucks complete balls. It will appear at one of 2 locations, Titus Park or the Stockwell War Bunker. This event pits you, and anyone else for that matter, against the Swarmjorn and this bullshit that it spews. Just like a regular Riot drone, it's equipped with a machine gun and missiles. Chase drones will also appear when starting the event as well. It'll occasionally drop Spiderbot bombs, but that's not even the best part. When you deal significant damage to it, it'll start calling backup, which you cannot silence, mind you. If it's blinking yellow, a pair of Albion ads will appear in their standard issue vehicle. If it's blinking red, however, then not only will more drones appear, but kamikaze drones will also be there, making this much harder than what it needs to be. If you're doing this solo, then you'll need both the missile drones, since it can lock onto multiple targets, in this case the chase drones, and any operative that's quick on their feet with a DedSec grenade launcher in hand. In my runs, I usually use the DJ operative, who has the ability to decrease your overall DPS. With this and the stun launcher equipped, I can deal nasty damage while also trying to avoid any incoming fire. Using the Prestige operative, the Lynx and her dive bomb gadget is an option, since the Bob will usually target the swarm drone for extra damage. If you have him, Aiden can easily dispatch the surrounding drones with his system crash ability while you put most of your effort on the swarm drone itself. If all else fails, then there is no shame with teaming up with other players to destroy this piece of shit. Once again, as long as you have the appropriate gear and any operative that has a good set of perks and is mobile, then you should have no problem for the most part. Another weekly that can be done fairly quickly. All you have to do is eradicate any drones that you come across. They can either be regular drones that hover around in the city of London, or enemy drones in enemy territory. It's entirely up to you. Just to make it easier on yourself, you can disable them and take them out quickly. This method applies to anything drone related except turrets, so don't waste your time on them. Following up on that note, this challenge will require for you to get rid of the annoying gnats that are the chase drones. They're really hard to miss. They pop up whenever you're in confrontation with enemy units and will shoot non-lethal stun rounds at you, or if you're in a car chase, I guess. They're quick but can die easily. You usually find them in enemy territories, Swarmjorn events, or even co-op missions. If you spot any, proceed to swat them away. A bit of an explanation on this one, but the co-op missions in the Legion consist of both you and your party to tackle against enemy forces and complete random objectives for your cause. To join, all you have to do is visit the minimap, select co-op missions, and you'll be drawn straight into a lobby. While most missions require at least 2 people to complete, there are a few that can be done solo. One of them is the most recently added mission, Dysfunction, where you have to take out 2 specific members of Clan Kelly. This can be done silently or aggressively, preferably the former. If we're being completely honest, it'd be best to do Dysfunction solo, since every time we start up a co-op mission, there's always going to be, if not the first option, that always shows up. Makes me really wish that we had the option to actually pick which mission that we want to do, but you know, that's just wishful thinking. From my experience, the mission itself is pretty much straightforward as long as you have both the right equipment and the patience. Sometimes joining public lobbies is not too bad either, but at some points you'll have to deal with not being able to complete a mission due to server lag issues, communication between teammates, or just dealing with buggy shit that prevents you from completing a simple ass task. Rather, it'd be easier to knock the shit out at your own pace. Hey, if all else fails, you can try joining a public lobby to where it's towards the end and complete it from there. Easy clap. Yet another simple task. While playing any of the co-op missions available, all you have to do is dispose of any enemies you come across while maintaining the element of surprise. In this case, I'm using the new hero operative, Darcy Clarkson, a member of the Assassin Brotherhood. Her gameplay mechanics are that of what we've experienced in the previous Assassin's Creed titles, pure stealth. Of course, you're more than welcome to use any character as well, as long as you can avoid the drones and remain covert. Easy. For this one, you'll be going after the Riot Drones. As you may already be aware, there are 2 types. One will be equipped with tear gas grenades and a shotgun, while the other will be mounted with a machine gun and missiles. Easiest way you can defeat them is by disabling them and shooting from the backside, since that's usually where their weak spot is located. Non-lethal weaponry is said to be more effective against them, but both types will work. If you do not have the ability to disable or deactivate Riot Drones, then it'd be best to keep a good distance from them while attacking. Also, if you happen to call in a Riot Drone and proceed to destroy it, it will not count towards the challenge, so don't even try. Another easy challenge, this one should be easy to accomplish. All that it requires for you to do is equip a Spiderbot and perform takedowns on any enemy you see. The Spiderbot itself is very quick and quite mobile. It's also equipped with a cloaking device to make it easier to approach your target from any direction. For those wondering, yes, the turret Spiderbot can be used as well, but it'll be a much slower process since it has to line up its shot on the enemy and can be destroyed fairly quickly. Technically, you can use the turret yourself, but once again, it'll be kinda slow. One tip is when using the Spiderbot, if you recall it back after using the cloak ability, it'll reset to cooldown automatically. Just be sure not to call it back while it's in the process of hugging someone else's face, or else it will not count towards the challenge. While we're on the topic of Spiderbots, these 2 challenges are mostly associated with the PvP mode, Spiderbot Arena. For this one, all you have to do is participate in 2 matches. Doing so will give you a nice reward of E. Doesn't matter if you're good or bad, just partake in a couple of sessions and you'll be done. Hell, most of the times you'll come across people who don't even actively play in the match. They're just there for about 6 minutes until it's over, which is basically free kills for you or anyone else that gives a damn. I even had to read the room once and just sit there for about 6 minutes until it was all over. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against anyone who does this because at the end of the day, no one's forcing you to play. You can play however you wish. I just find it f***ing boring to just stand there not doing nothing. If that's the case, you might as well just create a friends only lobby with your buddies and just do it there, if possible. As for the second challenge associated to this, you'll have to kill 10 players while in the Spiderbot Arena. You can literally farm the same players over and over and over again that you're going against multiple times until you complete it. There are different power-ups and kill streaks that you can use against the opposition, so be sure to take advantage of the opportunity while it's present. Just don't go too hard on other players, otherwise they'll call you out for just playing the game as intended, or even try to kick you out for just being better. Man, I just love the friendly competitive atmosphere. I'd say this one is tricky, but it comes down to basically how you approach it. In this case, you'll have to perform 5 headshots on any NPCs while being discreet. Luckily, you have a few weapons in-game that are considered quiet, like the Silence P9, the nail gun, or the standard issue DedSec pistol, provided that you fully upgrade the weapon. It'd be best to go after enemies that have a low health bar that you can easily dispatch so you don't have to deal with any of the hassle later on. Another method would be using the dart gun, since it's considered a silent weapon as well. If you perform a headshot with it, it'll instantly down any enemy that you see, which includes elites. It has low ammunition, so make your shots count. Continuing on with the headshots, this challenge is similar to the previous one, except now you'll have to target the elite variants. They're the individuals that have a specific sigil above their heads when you scan them. It's a simple process, just point and shoot at their heads. Any weapon that isn't a launcher should work for this challenge. If you want to be on the safe side, just use a lethal weapon to get the job done quickly. Elite enemies are much more resilient and aggressive towards players, so be careful when going against them. For this one, you'll need the ability to hijack drones that are capable of combat. They'll cost a few influence, but it'll be very helpful in the long run. For me, I usually head to the northern parts of London, in this case Cemetery Park, and hijack a Riot Drone from the skies, preferably one that has a machine gun attached to it. From there, I just go on a murder spree against a few members of Clan Kelly. Quick, simple, and clean. Continuing on the topic of drones, this challenge is going to annoy the hell out of you. For this, you'll need to have either the ability to use drone betray unlocked or have someone equipped with the ability automatically, like the drone specialist operative, for example. You'll have to make the enemy drones attack their allies and kill them in the process before they go back to normal or get destroyed. This not only works on drones but on enemy turrets as well, and believe me, they're kind of durable, well, for the most part. The cooldown for the drone betray ability can take some time to reboot, so you'll have to be careful and choose which drone does your dirty work. One thing that actually makes this somewhat bearable is that the drones destroying enemy equipment adds towards the challenge. Also, if you want to make this a bit easier on yourself, it would be best to target enemies with low health or to bring them down within an inch of their lives so that they can get one-tapped. Be sure to jam enemy weapons as well, since they will destroy the rogue drone in a matter of seconds. Being the last challenge of this section, this is going to be a tough one depending on how cooperative your teammates are, and believe me, you'll need all the help you can get. For this, you'll have to start up the Tactical Ops Leader of the Pack and complete its second mission, Dogs of War. In this mission, you'll have to get rid of a group of Swarmjorns that are patrolling the streets after causing a recent massacre. The objective requires you to download data that will be used to corrupt said drones, which will allow for you to destroy them. However, the things are tough as shit and can deal out massive damage with their equipped weapon. The AR cloak would be ideal to bring along, since there is a likely chance that you or your teammates will get down on a certain number of times while doing this. Also, it would be a good idea to be careful when running this mission in particular, as there is a good chance that you may run into a bug that prevents you from actually finishing the mission, which is kind of horseshit if you ask me. Long story short, in my case, Bagley was repeating the same shit over and over and over again until I had to turn him down completely, and he was still going on in the meantime. Little did I know that it was actually a glitch that prevented my team from completing the objective, which really made me sour. And at this point, I just realized that tactical ops suck and should be taken out of the challenge rotation. For Clan Kelly challenges, we'll begin with one of the weeklies, your objective being to eliminate Clan Kelly forces as you see fit, in this case 40 of them. For me, I usually go towards the northern part of London and terrorize any Clan Kelly locations that I find. Be creative with how you want to wipe them out of existence. It's a fairly simple process, it's just the same as before. For this challenge is basically the same as usual. All that it requires for you to do is to eliminate Clan Kelly members in co-op missions that involve them. If you're doing this solo, once again, the dysfunction co-op mission is right there when you start up your own session, unless you've been placed into another mission from the public queue. In this case, there are usually about 7 to 8 members patrolling the area with a few Riot Drones in place. Now, if that isn't enough for you, you could always go on the aggressive route in the mission where more enemies will spawn, but that's entirely up to you. Or if you like, you could always restart the mission and kill the enemies once again. Either way, it will count towards the challenge. This challenge is literally the same as what we've talked about before, except in this case you'll have to equip an SMG to kill Clan Kelly forces. It can either be lethal or non-lethal, any way you see fit. My method when doing this challenge is to usually stay isolated in one area and bring them to me. However, it may be more than I can handle at times, since 9 times out of 10 they'll radio in more assistance, so it would be wise to keep your distance and shoot from afar. Use the whole map as cover if need be, but just be careful of the drones that they have around because they will make your life a bit harder than per usual. This challenge is the same as before with the recent challenges involving Spiderbots, except you go after Clan Kelly members this time. Once again, the regular Spiderbot is your best bet to getting this done quickly. Other types of Spiderbots do exist, but the original will do you just fine as long as you just stay quiet with it and not try to attract too much attention. This challenge in particular is worded weirdly, but just like before, all this requires for you to do is kill Clan Kelly members or destroy their equipment 10 times. However, in order for them to actually count towards the challenge, you'll have to recruit someone who has the Clan Kelly Vendetta ability to them, or in this case, the perk. This basically increases the overall damage you create against anything Clan Kelly related. Weird challenge, but I digress. It's kinda simple as long as you have the right equipment for it. Being the last challenge, which is Clan Kelly associated, for this one you'll need to take down the captains that are a part of Clan Kelly located in areas that are affiliated with them. They're depicted as individuals who have a radio sigil above their heads when you scan them, not to mention the fact that the profile will mention that they are Clan Kelly captains as well. You'll need to make sure neither them or anyone else watches you as you're taking them down. Otherwise, it will now count towards the challenge for some odd reason. Just do as you always do and you'll be fine for the most part. Starting off with the Albion challenges, this one is similar to the last weekly that involved the Clan Kelly members, except this time you just have to take out any Albion soldiers that you see on the field in any form or fashion. They'll either be seen in their patrol cars, roaming the streets, or stationed at locations that are affiliated with them. Just do as you usually do and take them out, no problem. Another easy challenge on the plate, just like what we've discussed before, you'll need to hijack a random drone, whether it be theirs or one from the sky, and proceed to cause havoc with them. Want to make this easier? Get a Riot Drone with the machine gun attachment and you'll be set to go. I'd personally start with going to Titus Park and making your way from there, since there are a lot of Albion locations. This challenge is simple as it only requires for you to use a pistol. With a sidearm equipped, just start blasting random Albion soldiers that you see fit, whether they be in patrol cars or roaming the streets. If you want to make this easier on yourself, it'd be a good idea to use sidearms that are equipped with a silencer, like the Silence P9 or Nail Gun. Dart guns do count towards this as well, so don't be afraid to think outside the box on this one. This challenge is literally just the same as before, except you have to do it in co-op now. I mean, you do get extra EXP if you happen to complete the mission at hand, so it's not that much of a hassle. You can try public lobbies, or you can go solo and just repeat the co-op mission known as Meltdown, and repeat it should you not meet your quota for the first time. It's right after Dysfunction, and while the mission does require 2 players for the vehicle sequence, your only goal is busting a cap on any of the Albion soldiers in the immediate area. I mean, Silence P9, Desert Eagle, Deadsec pistol, literally anything just to get rid of them. Easy. Okay, so this one could go either way. The basis of this is that you'll have to destroy specific Albion vehicles of one of the 2 LMGs currently in the game, whether it be the Negev or the MG. The vehicles that you'll be going after are the standard issue cars that they use to patrol the streets with. Anything other than that will not count. You'll know when the car is done for when you start seeing its engine caught on fire before exploding. 2 ways of doing this. One, you can go apeshit crazy on patrol cars that you see on the streets and watch the chaos unfold from there. Only problem with this is that of course backup will be popping up on scene and you'll have to deal with even more bullshit. This is why I would usually go with option 2, going to Albion Station Bethnal Green and destroying the parked vehicles that are already there. Of course, you will have to deal with the enemies that are stationed there, but they shouldn't be that much of a problem. There are about 6 or 7 vehicles parked there, so you should be able to fulfill your quota pretty quickly. One thing I will say is that you might want to move some of the vehicles out of the way, as if one explodes, it will cause a chain reaction, so you have to be careful about that. One tip that I think you would appreciate is that whenever your LMG starts running low on ammunition, exit the area, switch your LMG out, exit the menu, reopen the menu, switch back to your LMG, and you should have full ammo once more. Pretty nifty for certain situations. This one can be a bit tedious, but with patience comes progress. You'll have to stir up some trouble with Albion and drive their vehicles into a nearby water bank. The vehicles of choice are the standard issue patrol cars that we've talked about earlier. Look over the map and find a location that's directly close to the river. From there, find any Albion car that you see and just drive it straight to the ocean. Just a heads up that you will encounter a lot of trouble headed your way during this time, more or less, so don't be surprised if you have a whole armada closing in. And for the final challenge on the list, all that this one requires for you to do is to escape Albion forces that are at level 3 or higher. You'll need to start trouble with Albion once again by disturbing the peace. Afterwards, once you've claimed a certain amount of notoriety, grab a nearby vehicle and book it. Be aware that most patrol units will pop up out of nowhere, so you will have to be looking out for them on the minimap constantly. Sooner or later he should be off your case and you should be home free. Complete this 2 more times and you're basically done with it. And that pretty much sums up the current challenges in Legion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and thank you once again for watching. If you have any questions about any of the challenges at all, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy your day. Love you all and peace.